Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to show you how to make a bralette with a zipper like this and with an edging. It's actually very simple. All you need to know is the single crochet and the back loop single crochet and how to attach this zipper, which I'm going to show you just now. So the first thing you're going to need is measurements. And the first measurement you're going to need is your waist, and then subtract 5 inches or 12.5 centimeters depending on whichever system you're using. The reason for this is you want this to fit snugly, and because we're using a back loop single crochet that stretches, you need it to be a little bit smaller than your actual size. If you make it your actual size, it's going to be loose and it's not going to fit correctly. And the second measurement you're going to need is a diameter of your sleeve, your full diameter of the sleeve from the underarm, which is what you're going to use to make this strap. And those are the measurements you need. And now let's start crocheting. You're going to need some yarn. I'm using double knit. The actual quantities will be in the description and in the pattern. A pair of scissors, a 3.5mm hook, a zipper. Get a zipper longer than what you need. This is a 16 inches, 40 centimeters. I'm not going to use all of it, and I'll show you how to cut it so that it fits. A darning needle, something to mark with. I'm using a pencil because I'm using a white zipper and I want to be able to wash it off, and a tape. So to begin, you're going to take your zipper, right, from the top where it closes. Forget the little section after the closure. So after the closure, forget this section. You're going to cut it off so it's not of any use, but you can start from where the zipper ends, okay, where the closure ends, to the length that you want your edging to be. So whatever length you want that to be, you're going to stop there. As I say, don't worry if the zipper is long. I'll show you how to make it work. I'll cut this. I'll actually use this bit for something else, so I'll get a new closure and use the other section for something else, so it's not a loss. So I want my bottom part to be 6 inches because I want a little bit more coverage. The one I made, the black one, is 4 inches. I just thought it was a little bit short, so this is 6 inches, but you can decide how long or how short you want it to be. So this is my 6 inches, right? So what you need to do is to mark where you're going to have your stitch. I like using inches side because of the way they mark the measurements. And we're going to put a stitch every 1/4 inch. So just mark there with your marker. You can wing it, you can freehand it if you want, but I'm a little bit pedantic, so I'm going to be stitching every 1/4 of a stitch. And at the end, you're going to do one more after the zipper. So just do one more up there to finish off everything. And then you repeat on the other side, making sure that you have the same number of markings. So I'm done marking. And using your needle, if your darning needle is not sharp, I recommend you take a sharper sewing needle to use for this part, because you want to be able to go through the zip easy. Okay, then I'm going to work stitches where I've marked sewing stitches. But to begin, what I'm going to do is I'm going to close this part, because as I said, I'm not going to use, I'm going to cut, I'm not going to use the whole zipper. So I start by stitching across. I'm not a seamstress, so some of the terminology I'll be using will be questionable. Please don't come for me. And I'm gonna do it like 4 more times just to close the zipper, so that when I open and close, it won't fall off. This means it's not a fully opened zipper. To close it up, I just go under there, run my yarn around, go back in. Okay, then I go back in to the one side to where I have my marker. Right, now we're going to start stitching. So we're going to go into the next mark stitch. I'm going to go all the way and then come back. Okay, then come back under the next marking. I just find this to be neater on both sides, the front and the back, but you can also do a running stitch, but I'm going to do it this way. Then into the next stitch, and then come back up into the next marked stitch. So continue until you get to the end, and then I'll show you what to do next. I'm now at the very end, so you can see that's how it looks so far. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to come back and work the gaps. So where I left the gaps, I'm going to work those. I'm going to work the gaps. So to work the gaps, you just go back into the stitch on the other side like this, right? And then work the gap, and then go back under the stitch. You can see at the back it will be empty, it will be blank, so there will be no stitch. So you're literally just stitching where you didn't stitch before. So basically just making sure that all the gaps that you left have been filled, because this is where we're going to be putting the stitches, and you don't want to be big spaces, because that's, your work is not going to look great. So I'll see you when I'm done. So now I'm at the end here. So what I would, okay, my recommendation is you don't pull this too hard, because look at what my zipper is doing. Go to the other side and repeat the process. My advice is don't pull the thread too much. You can see my thing is curling up because I think my stitches are too tight. So on this side I'm just gonna try and keep everything loose so that it doesn't look terrible. So I'm at the end here, right? And that's my very last stitch, and I'm just going to close this off. insert and yarn over. I don't know if it's cold in sewing. And do that one more time. And then you can cut. What I'm going to do is I'm going to tie this up. I make a knot just to finish it off. Alright, so there's your zipper. If you open it, it's going to stop there. But once you're done, you're going to cut it. So don't cut it before you're done working your top. Alright, so the next thing we're going to do, I'll start the stitching. You have your stitches. Now we're going to start working. So you're going to start from, I think this will depend on whether you're left-handed or right-handed. So because I'm right-handed, I'm going to start from the bottom of the zipper to the top. You may start from there. It really doesn't matter. So you insert your hook in the very first stitch, make a slip knot on your yarn, and pull through, and then chain one, and then single crochet in the same stitch. Okay, just to tighten up that stitch, but it's still one stitch. Okay, then you're going to single crochet across all the stitches. So single crochet across all the stitches. Depending on how you distance your stitches, it may be a little bit difficult to insert your hook, but just be patient with yourself and you're going to get it. So I'm going to single crochet all the stitches until the end, and I'll see you at the end of the row. Okay. So I'm now on the very last stitch of my zipper. And I place my very last single crochet. Then you chain one and turn, and then single crochet across all the stitches again, and then single crochet in the very last stitch. Okay, so there you have it. You've started. Now we're going to work in back loops only until you have 2 rows left. Now here's what you're going to do. So we're going to work in back loops, which is, we normally work through the whole thing and you have 2 loops, but you're going to work in the loop away from you only. Okay, in single crochets to the end and chain one, turn. So from here we're going to work in back loops until we have a measurement of your waist less 5 inches. The reason to this is because yarn stretches and you want it to fit. If you make it your exact size, it's not gonna fit you correctly. So you want it to stretch when you wear, you want it to stretch and fit correctly. So your waist measurement less 5 inches. You can make it 4 inches, you can make it 6 inches if you really want a very tight fit, but 5 inches works very well. And we're going to work in back loops. Another important thing is you're going to work any number of rows divisible by 4. So when we come back here, we're also going to do 2 single crochet rows. So when you're working your rows, take that into account. So these 2 single crochet rows we're going to do here, plus the number of rows you're going to do should be divisible by 4. This is very important because it will have an impact on when you're making your bra cup. So I'm going to go ahead and work my rows. I'm going to work 96 rows. 96 rows including the 2 single crochets that I'm going to work to finish here. So I'll work 94 rows, then I'm going to come back and we're going to do the last 2 rows together. So You can pause this now and just go and work your work off camera, and I'll see you when I'm done with my 92 rows. And then we're going, sorry, my 94 rows. Then I'm going to come back and we'll do the last 2 rows together to make it 96. So I'm now done with my 94 rows, and I'm now just going to work the 2 rows. The first row I'll work it without joining, and the second row I'll be joining to the zipper. So I chain 1 and turn, and then work a row of single crochet. We're not working in back loops, we're just working a regular single crochet. So what you do is you insert your hook through your stitch and then go through the stitch on your zipper, pull through both stitches, 2 loops on your hoop, yarn over and pull through to finish. Insert your hook into your crochet, then into the zipper, yarn over and pull through, 2 loops on hook, yarn over and pull through 2 loops. So continue until you're at the end of the row. Now, after you're done, you can cut your zipper. You will need to cut below the stitch you made to close the zip. You only do this if your zip is long, but if your zip fits perfectly, then you're good to go. And now we're going to work the cup side of the bralette. This is where having a number divisible by 4 becomes important. So you're going to divide your rows by 4 and then count the number of rows and place a stitch marker. So my 96 divided by 4 is 24. So I'm going to place a stitch marker on the 24th row and do the same on the other side. And now you can start the cup size of your bralette. So you pick up your yarn from whatever point it is and then chain 1, then single crochet across to where you have the stitch marker. Single crochet in each row, so each row will be a stitch. Once you get to where your stitch marker is, you place your stitch marker in the 24th stitch or whatever number of stitches you're working with, and this is where we're going to turn our work. So you chain 1 and turn and work another row of single crochets. From here you're going to work 6 rows of single crochet before we start decreasing. So you can this number of rows would differ from the size. Just check the written pattern. So now you can pause the video and go and work your 6 rows, and I'll see you when I'm done. So I'm now done with my 6 rows here, and now we're going to start decreasing. We're going to be decreasing at the beginning and at the end of the row. So what you do is you chain 1 and turn, and to decrease you're going to 2 single crochet together at the beginning, which is inserting hook, pull through, insert in the next stitch, pull through, 3 stitch loops on the hook, and then yarn over and pull through all 3 loops. Then continue to single crochet across until you have 3 stitches left. When you have your 3 stitches left, decrease in the 2 stitches and then single crochet in the last stitch, chain 1 and turn. The next row you're not going to decrease, so you're just going to single crochet across, and from here we're just going to alternate rows 7 and 8 until you have 3 stitches left. So alternating means decreasing in one row and not decreasing in the next row until you have 3 stitches left, and I'll see you when I have 3 stitches. I now have 3 stitches left, and what we're going to do here is we're going to make the strap. So you're going to continue with the 3 stitches until the length of your strap is the same as the diameter of your sleeve. My size is 13 inches, so I'm going to work the strap until I have 13 inches, and I'll come back for us to join the strap to the back. So if you started with 24 stitches, you will have to find that middle stitch, so your middle stitch will be 12. So you're going to join your strap starting from the 11th stitch, or for the one after, depending on how your bralette is positioned, and your middle stitch will be the 2nd stitch of your strap, and the very last one will be the one before that. So your middle stitch of the strap will be the middle, the half stitch of your starting stitches, and just slip stitch through, and you have joined your strap. Don't forget to do the same for the other strap. And to do the edging, which is optional, you're going to take a contrasting color and just work around your bralette. So I'm only going to do the front because I feel like that it looks better that way, but you can do all around. So you start by slip stitching at the at the end part of your zipper, and then make a slip knot with your contrasting color and pull through, chain 1, and then just single crochet across. So you can put this edging any way you want. Initially I did both sides, but I settled for one side. I will show you my finished work at the end. So just single crochet across all the stitches and all the rows of your bra cup, and you're done. So here's the one in white and brown, and here's the one in black and brown. So if you enjoyed this tutorial, don't forget to subscribe and turn on post notifications. Until next time, thank you for watching.